Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. These drop on Bladebinge August 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll repeat that, August 20th, 2026. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be the bladebinge.com. I'm sorry, bladebingeshop.com. And then it says discount code eligible. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's a discount code. If there is, I'll try and put it in my description. But I'll have the appropriate link down below that you guys can go and check this out at. And I'll try to have this video released at least one day in advance. But yeah, this is, I'm assuming, a dark mode collab. That appears to be the case. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Thanks to Bladebinge and Griffin company for sending this in. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, I threw that a long ways. I won't be able to find that again. So this is it says Griffin Co. This is the F3 dark mode, and they will have 75 of these. Dark modes, you know, they've been, like in the case of like the Voodoo, sometimes they sell out in seconds, sometimes they're there for days or weeks, right? So I have no idea. I think, oh yes, I feel like I do remember this. Yeah, that's a good looking knife. I really like how we have this laid into where it's sort of highlighted evenly almost all the way around until you get up to the pivot. But what we have here, oh, and they did put it on both sides. That's a nice touch. It's always a bummer, and I feel like most people will agree this is a really comfortable knife. It's always a bummer when we have a big, fat, show side inlay or texturing, and you flip it over and there's nothing. I understand it's hard to, like, you know, cover all the spots. Like doing a little tiny sliver right here probably wouldn't be a good idea. Just be working with a really delicate space. But it's always a bummer when they just do nothing. At least we have one piece over here. And I do appreciate, of course, that we've got black hardware hiding itself pretty well there. So this is a combination. The F3 is a combination front flipper and slot opener. So you can pinch and roll. You can I flick it out? Can I? Yeah, I might not be able to. I can reverse flick it though, no problem. This is for me, it's a 3.5. Like I can get a full grip on it, but like my pinky's like right on top of this. Gimping's good, simple drop point blade. It's kind of like a high, like a rising grind here, and then we have a swedge over here. It's probably DLC. Let me read here. Tie, dark mode camo. No, this is a black washed PVD in Magna Cut is what we're looking at here. OEM is Bestech. Nice clean looking knife that we do. Looking knife. I said knife, like Knithe. I don't know what that is. It's not a thing. But nice clean looking frame lock, very smooth and great access to the lock bar. It's interesting right there. We have a little nub. Well, it's I suppose for choking up right here. The other thing that it does is it catches right here and allows you to actually like how this is done. If this was not here, then it would bypass and the blade would come down the initial cutting edge right off the plunge guide would grind. I can't talk today. The initial plunge grind, like right off the plunge grind, the initial edge would be what stops on your finger. But because the detent ball is already up on the face of the blade right here, it's literally right here is where the detent ball is crossing. By the time that little area comes down and touches your finger, you can turn it and close it. So it does what a flipper tab does without actually being a flipper tab. For people who disengage their locks and close their knives, close their frame locks with one hand, you will appreciate that. Good looking. On this, not like a small knife. Oh, look at all the extra hardware it comes with. Tons of extra hardware. That's good. Not a small knife, but just on the more, I don't even want to say the small side. I want to say like it's like a medium. I bet you this is 7.5. Overall length is, no, it's about 7.25. 7.25 inches. Blade length 3, cutting edge 2.9. So this is a para 3 size knife. That is what we are looking at here. If you like the size of the Spyderco para 3, then this might be, right up your alley. Behind the edge, I'd call that about medium. Feels good. Edge feels nice. We have that, kind of straightforward. It's not really, I don't want to say like minimal. It's got the knife shape. And I know that sounds silly, right? It's a knife-shaped knife, but there's personality. Instead of just long rectangle handle, we've got a little bit of personality here, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of zazz, right? Instead of your typical drop point blade, curvature upwards, in combination with the swedge and the little opening slot there gives it a little bit more character than what we normally see. I feel like some people would really, really like this. Very comfortable. I'll stress that again. Super comfortable knife despite the fact that my pinky kind of slipping off the back end here. All the edges are knocked down, so I'm not really engaging with anything that's super sharp. Another thing that I'm going to compliment on this knife and harp on in general, one of the most frustrating things that I see on newer knives, and I'm a guy who likes jimping. I like jimping to be there. I feel like there are situations where I go and want to put my finger there, and even though it's not a consistent thing that I do, right? The stuff that I do with pocket knives does not, often require me to utilize the jimping. When I go to do it, if it's there, I always appreciate it because when it's not there, it is such a gigantic problem. Now, I think what's even dumber than not having, because here's the thing, I can't come down on all models that don't have jimping because sometimes it's just part of the design. They don't want to muddy up the aesthetic or whatever. That's fine. When there's jimping and it's basically decorative. One of the best examples of this, as much as I love the VECP, my Gen 3 or my VECP V3 from Les George. The jimping on that is essentially, it's entirely cosmetic. And it is so frustrating. It's not useful with gloves. It's not useful with the bare finger. I don't even know why companies do this. This knife has excellent jimping. Excellent. It's not too toothy. It's not like, it's not in a way that it's going to be painful, right? Like the Medford Praetorian tie. Remember that? Oh my God. Like a jimping like this where the spacing, this is about as wide a spacing as I like. I think an example of almost perfect jimping is like what Spyderco does or like what Chris Reeve does. Excellent lock-in. So I do appreciate that. Thank you for doing the jimping correctly and actually extending it out to a useful spot on the spine of the knife. I will do a full review on this knife. I feel like I've seen it before. I feel like maybe I have a video on this from the past. I'm not sure if I have a full-length review, though. Maybe just an unboxing. That's going to be it from me. Appropriate links down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.